power doesn't crash through doors. It seeps in through cracks, unnoticed by most, until suddenly, everything has shifted. Imagine waking up one day and realizing the world you once thought was steady has been molding you like clay. Routines shape your mornings, habits tug at your decisions, and comfort lulls you into a life smaller than your potential. But then, there are those who slip beneath the current, studying how people move, how influence flows, and how presence works. These are not those who seek to crush others. They are the awake, the ones Machiavelli wrote for, people who refused to sit back, who refused to have their power buried beneath guilt, fear, and self-doubt. You've known what it feels like to be played by the world, to chase fairness, to expect good deeds to be rewarded, to hold your breath waiting for justice. But that world doesn't exist. The world responds to leverage, to positioning, to who thinks ahead. When you wake up to this truth, you stop wishing for a better game. You start mastering the one that already exists. You stop complaining about manipulation and begin recognizing its patterns, maybe even using them to protect those who can't protect themselves. Maybe you thought leadership meant shouting louder, charisma, dominance. But what Machiavellian leadership truly looks like is quiet. It begins with emotional discipline. If you can't control how you react, if outrage, guilt, shame have their claws in you, someone else is pulling your strings. Step 1 is taking ownership of your emotional climate. Machiavelli cautioned true leaders against soft-heartedness, not cruelty, but clarity and composure. Today, that means giving yourself permission to be strategic. When everyone demands agreeableness, you give them competence. When guilt becomes currency, you give them boundaries. You've probably been told that being liked is everything. But ask yourself, who benefits when kindness isn't reciprocated? Those who latch onto guilt and ride it. Better to keep your value intact so you can lead with strength. True leadership is not about being liked. It's about being effective. A victim seeks validation. A leader seeks clarity. You don't ask, do they like me? You ask, what does this serve? You move according to vision, not mood, not the approval of others. This transforms availability into intentionality. Leaders see the world as it is. Idealists build castles in the sky. Strategists build leverage. Ask yourself, what do people fear? What do they admire? What are they blind to? A victim accepts roles. A leader changes them. Machiavelli knew people remember fear more than kindness. Not because he's cynical, but because he's attentive. We respond to protection and power. So to influence, you accept human nature as it is, not as you wish. If you believe people are inherently good, you'll be repeatedly blindsided. If you understand their habits, you build systems that align incentives, not rely on trust. Manipulation sounds nasty, but true influence is structure. You don't force people. You make the right path, the easiest path. Minds respond to structure. To others, this isn't cruelty, it's strategy. When Machiavelli spoke of fear over love, he meant respect, consistency, predictability. We respect someone who doesn't bend to every opinion, someone who stands for something. If you stop needing permission to lead, you shift from puppet to conductor. The paradox is that the more grounded you are within, the less you need to try to control others. Real authority isn't forced. It's earned through presence, vision, and self-command. Masks can fool. Kindness can mask weakness. People act on interest, not your intentions. Your job isn't to wipe away their egos, but to shape the playground, so ego serves the bigger picture. You don't change people. You change conditions. A victim screams. A leader repositions quietly until strategy takes over. You learn to strike at exactly the right moment, not too soon, not too late, and sit quietly when noise threatens to overwhelm. Emotional reactivity is a luxury leaders cannot afford. Every time jealousy, anger, pride, or fear take over, you hand a piece of your power over to someone else. Machiavelli said, "Appear powerful." People don't follow your thoughts. They follow your presence. How you stand, the tone of your voice, your stillness. You speak less, but when you do, it matters. You apologize less, but instead improve. You seek less praise, but you earn more respect. You don't need to be loved, just clear. Uncertainty begets chaos. Certainty, even in silence, breeds trust. The trick is to flip the cycle. Most people feel first, react second, think last. A leader does the opposite. Observe, then calculate, then move. Fortune may favor the bold, but only when they're ready. Victims blame fate. Leaders anticipate it, prepare for it, and seize it when it arrives. When disaster strikes, people don't run to the loudest voice. They run to the calmest, the one who's already prepared, the one who spoke with reason. Presence becomes authority. Fear, in Machiavelli's view, is respect. Love is fragile, fickle. Respect grows from competence and consistency. Being respected means showing up over and over under pressure without needing applause. You earn respect not through words, but through silent repetition. When rejection happens, a leader asks, why did they choose that? What does this teach me? What does it reveal? The victim sees the end. The leader sees the pattern, the next move. Rejection is data. Betrayal is insight. Every setback becomes direction. That doesn't mean suppress feelings. You feel, but you don't let them drive. Mastery of self first, then others. Discomfort becomes fuel. The creator of their own hardship knows how to build precision. Pain becomes training. Resistance becomes resilience. When life pressures you, you choose to respond intelligently rather than react. Every moment is a choice. Vent and collapse, or absorb the blow. See through the chaos, then move. Pause before action. Find clarity in chaos. The mission dwarfs your mood. Outcomes matter more than ego. The foundation of self-mastery is laid in the crucible of discipline. People will test you. They will lie. They will doubt you. That's not injustice. It's the world. If you think the game is fair, you're already behind. The field isn't moral. It's competitive. And when you clear your head, you begin to see distractions for what they are. When you know your direction, distractions fall away. Compliments bounce off because they don't matter. Offers vanish because they're not aligned. Clarity becomes armor, but clarity is not given. It's earned in stillness, solitude, study. Not everyone reaches this. Most drown in the volume of opinions. The leader separates the signal from the noise. Plans in private, builds in silence. Power isn't worn on the crown, it's carried in the shoulders. You can't fake readiness, you must become it in silence. Leadership shows in the small things. Waking before dawn, having difficult conversations, saying no to things that don't serve. Discipline murmurs, not screams, and resilience is boring until crisis hits. That's when it roars. You choose discomfort now, so that strength isn't accidental. Small decisions forge character. Choose what builds focus, not what brings ease. Every time you pick the hard right option, you cast a vote for the person you want to become, and you will be judged. Misunderstood. Envy will prick at people who can't see the method in your calm. You don't need to be understood to be effective. You don't need to be liked to be powerful. The world applauds the show, but it follows the steady. Leaders define themselves internally. Recognition is optional. The mission doesn't waver even if applause dies. But mission without structure collapses. Hope without habits spoils. A leader doesn't wait for motivation. They build systems and routines that run when desire wanes. They eliminate unnecessary choices. They guard attention like treasure, because attention is where influence grows. Focus narrows, influence expands. Saying no becomes the loudest yes. Saying no is power, wisdom, clarity. It's not about being cruel. It's about being precise. It's about knowing what matters, then not letting anything else distract you. Silence isn't absence, it's a signal. When you don't reply to every insult or defend every accusation, you create space. A gap others can't fill. Rage fills noise. They fill vacuums. Leaders sit in silence because they have nothing to prove. Presence speaks louder. Past actions speak. Vision carries. They refuse to defend themselves. They just show what's next. Leaders watch others' weaknesses, not to tear down, but to steer around. A colleague fueled by envy. Give them responsibility and a vision to own it. That redirects energy away from sabotage. You use strategy, not conflict. You build strength, not chaos. Power is elegant, not violent. It moves without announcing itself. Victims react, leaders sequence. They preserve momentum. They bend when others break. They watch when others lash. They build in solitude when others seek the spotlight. They do this not because they're cold, but because they require energy for the important. They conserve bandwidth for when it matters. Now, when conflict or stress arises, leaders don't make it personal. They filter. Does this matter? Is this noise? Is this a pattern? They investigate. They verify. Their moves are sharper and their recoveries faster. This isn't magic. It's mindset. It's drilling habits of leadership every day. The only thing between you and the leader you could be is how long you're willing to live in discomfort. When no one's watching, can you remain disciplined? When praise dies, can you keep going? When circumstances are ugly, can you stay consistent? If yes, you're moving from victim to architect. Leadership is not a title, it's accumulation, habits, silence, clarity, strategy. You stop chasing applause and start building foundations. You stop performing and begin showing up for the person you'll be in 5 years. That is the shift. Pawn to player, spectator to sovereign. You don't become someone else. You remember who you already are, before the world told you to stay small. The world needs more leaders, and it begins with you leading yourself. Not someday, not when permission is granted, but in this moment. You choose who you'll be through the little things, how you respond when things don't go your way, how you treat the unheard, how you speak about your own mistakes when there's no one else around. These tiny moments compile into destiny. Machiavelli's whisper through the centuries is this: it's not about being evil, it's about being clear. It's not about tearing others down, it's about building systems. It's not about forcing obedience, it's about creating gravity. You don't wait until you feel ready. You act, then build readiness. You don't wait for clarity. You create it, because the world will move anyway, with or without you. And if you're waiting, you're already late. Don't just take this in as inspiration. Apply it. Begin the quiet work. Raise your standards. Resist shrinking. Sharpen your vision. If this message lit something inside, it's because you're capable of more. Now go live like it's true. The world didn't slow down while you hesitated. It moved. Now choose to move better, smarter, stronger. Power isn't handed out. It's earned, starting in silence, refined in action, carried through presence. Start earning it now. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. True leadership isn't in the declarations. It's in the decisions you make when no one else is paying attention. It's in how you respond when things don't go your way. It's in how calmly you navigate pressure, how consistently you show up, how deeply you understand what actually moves people, not just what looks good on the surface. Most people are looking for shortcuts, for hacks, for something outside themselves to create change. But the real shift happens within. It starts when you stop outsourcing responsibility and begin holding yourself accountable for how you carry your mind, your presence, your purpose. Because that's what makes people follow you. Not authority, not position, but certainty. Not perfection, but direction. In a world that's constantly spinning, the leader is the one who remains grounded. When everyone else is reacting, they're calculating. When others blame, they reflect. They don't pretend to have all the answers. They simply don't flinch while finding them. And over time, that steadiness becomes magnetic. There is no single moment where leadership arrives. It's not crowned by applause or confirmed by titles. It's built in quiet discipline, in strategic clarity, in a refusal to be shaken by the noise of the world. You're not too late. You're not behind. You just have to begin. Not by waiting, but by moving, deliberately, intentionally, powerfully. From this point forward, make every move a reflection of the leader you were always meant to become.